I'm Lisa Witt, and I'm here at Pianote today to do some lessons on chord hacks. So we are going to be looking at what is a chord, what is a chord progression. We're going to be building some really fun progressions that are going to help you to play songs that are familiar and to create songs of your own. So today we're going to start by looking at what is a chord. So a chord, very simply put, is three notes that sound really cool together. And in this case, there we go. That's a C chord. So all I've done is I've played a C, I've built a third on top of that, and I've built a third on top of that. And that is a chord. So what a chord progression is a group of chords that repeat itself. So in this case, we're going to be looking at some chords that sound really nice together. So in any key, there are going to be chords that are complementary. What I mean by that is, let's start with C. C is a great place to kind of get your feet wet, so to speak, when you're learning things on the piano, because it's a key that doesn't have any sharps or flats. It's really straightforward. Your fingers don't have to do any extra work. So in the key of C, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, kind of different notes, and we cap it up at the top on the 8 again. And when we're playing in the key of C, we've got our C chord, and we call this the 1 chord because it's based on the first note of the C scale. So that's pretty easy to remember. Then we've got our 5 chord. So the 5 chord is just a chord that starts and is based off of the 5th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of that scale. So here we go. And that is a G chord. So C, G. Then we're going to play the next chord, which is A minor. So we call this the minor 6th because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, based on the 6th note of the scale, and it sounds sad. I always differentiate the difference between major and minor by happy and sad. This one's a bit sad sounding. And then we have the 4th chord, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, F. So we're going to call these the big chords. So these chords, when you play them together, sound like a song. They sound like they belong together. They have a really nice flow, and I'll show you kind of all put together what that sounds like. And that's our chord progression. So one more time, we've got C, which is the 1. We've got G, which is the 5. We've got A minor, which is the minor 6th, and then we've got F, which is the 4. And that is our chord progression. So if you're new to the piano, it might take a little while to get used to moving between those chords because it can be challenging as you're beginning to get used to the layout of the keyboard and to get your brain and your hand to communicate to move quickly or as quickly as you need to between the chords. So I would suggest, in order to begin the process of mastering this progression, that you design an exercise for yourself. So I'm going to show you something very basic, and then you are free to kind of get creative once you get comfortable with this. So I'm going to show you using my right hand, and I'm just going to play these chords in root position. And when I say root position, I mean it looks like this. So it's just a stack of thirds. The spacing between your fingers is the same. We'll look at inversions in our next lesson. So I'm going to play the root position twice on each of the chords. And I'm going to repeat it, so I do it 2 times. So it's super simple. That's something that you can just do over and over until it feels comfortable. And a good test to see if you've really got this, if you can do this while you're speaking, that means you've committed it to your memory. You're not having to think about it. And then let's not leave our left hand out. So we're going to do the same thing now with our left hand because a lot of people find that it can be more challenging to play with the left hand. So it's good to make sure that you're using him too. So there There's your C and your G, minor 6, and your 4. Let's do it again. 1, 5, minor 6, 4. Then you could do them hands together, a little bit more challenging. 5, minor 6, 4. One more time. And that is how you would play our big chord progression using just root position chords. If you want to get fancy, you can also play these triads broken. It just changes the muscle function a little bit between the fingers. So this is a really good way to build dexterity while you're learning the chord progression. And it sounds cool. And there you have it. So that is an introduction to what is a chord, how to play a chord progression that is familiar. A lot of songs that we know are based on this particular ordering of chords. And I think it's important to note that you can play this progression in any key. So if you are more comfortable with the piano and you are familiar with all of the scales, then you could do the same progression starting on any key. So for example, I might want to start this progression on the key, on G. So I'll play it using G as my guide. Here's a G scale. Those are our 8 notes. And here's our 1. Then we'll go to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll build our next chord starting on the 5th note. Keeping in mind that the G scale has an F sharp, so you have to include that in this chord. So that chord's going to look like this. The minor 6th, based on the 6th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's sad sounding. And then our 4, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, in this case a C. So as you can see, you can build these progressions starting on any note of the keyboard as long as you follow the rules of that key. It's very simple. So have fun, explore, practice playing this in C position. And then if you're comfortable with some of the other keys, take some risks and have some fun playing with these progressions. And we'll see you in the next lesson.